On Wednesday night, in the first ever All-Italian men's quarterfinal at a Grand Slam tournament, Jannik Sinner resumed his march toward the second consecutive U.S. Open victory by quickly dispatching of 10th-seeded Lorenzo Musetti 6-1, 6-4, 6-2. The match lasted just 2 hours. The top seed and world number one in New York was only faced with brief breaks of serve, but he remained unbreakable, saving all 7 break points and converting 5 of his 6 chances. Even when up against a fellow countryman with arguably the sport's most graceful backhand, Sinner's metronomic consistency was clearly on display in the outcome. In only 27 minutes, Sinner stormed out to a 5-0 lead over Musetti, who was clearly rattled and went on to win the first set. While Musetti did manage to score some attractive goals and bursts, his team lost ground due to a combination of unintentional and intentional mistakes, as his depth and weight of shot forced his Italian opponent into defensive exchanges. One set was looser than the other. Sinner held with a resounding ace after erasing the lone early threat with a 129 miles per hour unreturnable serve out wide at 1-2. In the fifth game, Musetti was down a break point after losing an 18-shot rally, but she held on to her serve and saved the match. But he double faulted while serving at 4-4, 30-40, giving Sinner the upper hand. Sinner smoothly served out the match after the break to take a 2-set lead. At the beginning of the third, Musetti's defiance was beginning to crumble. In his first service game, he was broken and then besieged again. Despite his best efforts, Sinner skillfully saved 4 breakpoint opportunities in the following game and 2 more at 3-2. The match ended when Sinner sealed the deal at love with a pair of aces after Musetti was broken again late in the set. Quantitative context was provided to the one-way traffic by the statistics. Never losing his serve and keeping an iron grip whenever danger was near, Sinner won 42 of 46 first serve points, 91%. He concluded with 28 winners and 17 unforced errors. Musetti was beaten by Sinner's unrelenting ball striking and his own inability to take advantage of rare opportunities. He scored 12 runs, but made 22 mistakes. After 5 rounds, the 24-year-old has lost just 38 games, which is the second fewest losses by a man to reach the semifinals of the U.S. Open since 2020. His string of 26 straight wins at hardcourt majors now stands third all-time, surpassing even John McEnroe and including Novak Djokovic and Ivan Lendl. According to Sinner, finding myself again in the semis of a Grand Slam, it's a great achievement. Sinner is vying to become the first man to defend the U.S. Open title since Roger Federer earned his last of 5 consecutive titles in 2008. To be in this position, we strive to prepare as best we can. Being back here makes me happy since I enjoy playing best of 5, and now I have a better understanding of my physique. The event served as a catalyst for growth and development for Musetti. I never played someone who put me on this kind of rush in the rally, he stated afterwards, being completely forthright. At every rally, he took the lead. He proved that he is, in fact, better than me. I was really impressed by Jannik's performance today, he continued. I felt like he was really testing me, and I think he did a great job serving. I'm glad I played against him because it let me see where I can make improvements. When confronted with a fellow countryman, Sinner was the first to admit the unusual difficulty. Clearly, we are familiar with one another, he stated while playing. There are always a ton of Italian players in our draw because we're all from the same nation. It's great to play here in the Davis Cup and all that, but we have to put our friendships aside for the tournament, and then everything will be okay when we shake hands. I thought it was a fantastic effort. They were rock solid from the beginning of the match onwards. When asked if he was giving it his all on the tennis court, Sinner declined to answer. Any player making it to the semifinals of a Grand Slam is playing sensational tennis, he remarked. This tournament is absolutely unique. All season long, people talk about how this is the final Grand Slam of the year, the biggest tournament of the year. Playing a night match in our largest stadium in front of an incredible crowd is the best option. To me, it is really meaningful. Additionally, he considered the weight of an all-Italian gathering. Some Italians definitely didn't sleep at home, he grinned and remarked. We take great pride in our Italian heritage. It is a unique nation, as I mentioned before. Italians are practically everywhere, and we have incredible support. Because of this, being Italian is fantastic, and I hope to see you in the next round. With the win, Sinner extended his undefeated streak against Italian opponents to 16-0 and advanced to the semifinals for the fifth year in a row. Additionally, he tied Nicola Pietrangeli for the most Grand Slam victories by an Italian man with his 86th. The 25th seed from Canada, Felix Auger-Aliassime, defeated Alex de Minaur earlier in the day and will be his opponent next. Though Sinner defeated Auger-Aliassime by a score of 6-2 in Cincinnati last month, Auger-Aliassime has won 2 of their last 3 encounters. Sinner predicted that things are going to be different due to the unique local characteristics. He's had a lot of self-assurance because of his great wins. Personally, I think it's important to keep an eye on yourself at all times. Because of the altered atmosphere and dynamics at a Grand Slam, this match will be extremely challenging for us both, because it was the first time ever that male players from Italy had met in a major semifinal. The quarterfinal was a watershed moment for the sport. However, the victorious Italian was always a foregone conclusion. The thought of another deep September run already appears as mundane as Sinner's most recent triumph, and his hold on Flushing Meadows is unwavering.